Is your heart telling you that you need to bet on yourself when it comes to securing your future?
Do you need a little extra motivation to take the jump into this low mortgage rate environment and get into that real estate market and learn from someone who's successful?
Yeah, if so, we have a great video for you. We had the opportunity to interview a real estate slayer. Okay?
She's a strong woman who is smashing the real estate game in one of the toughest cities in the world.
Yeah, she shares her secrets to her success and how she doesn't let discrimination or any obstacles of any time stop her from getting the property she deserves.
Seriously, guys, this is one of those videos you have to watch to the end so that you can soak up all the wisdom that she's sharing and then use it to plan your next move.
That is facts. Okay?
Facts.
Hi, I'm Nadia.
And I'm Nicole.
We're financially independent twins that have made it our mission to teach others how to master every aspect of their money.
We make easy to understand investing and personal finance videos on a weekly basis with the goal of teaching you how to become financially free.
Yeah, so if that sounds good to you, hit the subscribe button and the like button to join our community. All right, guys, I told you we had something special for you. Well, I want to introduce you to my good friend, Miriam Feroduk. Did I pronounce that right, Miriam?
Yes, you did. Good job.
So, Miriam, I just wanted to let everybody know, from your point of view, how did you get started in the field of real estate?
But there's no straight answer to that question. I'm an immigrant. I'm from Pakistan originally. My mom brought the three of us here, and my mom, in her Pakistani accent, she said, "A landlord never dies poor."
Ooh, okay, nice.
No, she said a landlord never dies hungry, because she comes from a farming community back home, and it's true. Whoever owned a farm wouldn't be hungry. So so that planted an idea. And at that time, I was in law school, and I needed a place to stay which would give me a shorter commute to go to law school. So I rented a small studio apartment in Borum Hill on Smith Street.
Okay.
Smith Street, as you know now, is real estate is really exploded. Meanwhile, my rent was only $500.
Now this is Smith Street in Brooklyn, New York.
In case
So
everyone
back-
doesn't know, Brooklyn, before it was hot, was not the greatest of neighborhoods.
There was not even one restaurant, not even one bar. There was only one deli on Smith Street and one Palestinian restaurant that was on
And this
Smith
is the
Street.
time when Biggie Smalls was singing and rapping. Okay?
You
This is
got
the
it,
Biggie Smalls-
exactly.
the Biggie Smalls,
Biggie
Brooklyn.
Smalls tie.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
you were mentioning that you were going to law school. So just give people a little bit of a background. So you said,
I had loved to study, so whatever opportunity I got, I always went somewhere. I went to law school, but I'm not a lawyer. I have a master's in political science, but I'm not a teacher. And we will get to how, because I think one of your questions is how the real estate happened.
exactly.
So after I graduated law school and I did not want to be a lawyer, my mom had this idea. My mom was like, you're a single girl, you're an immigrant, so for God's sakes, buy yourself something so that I can feel good. It was for my mom. She wanted to make sure that her only daughter, immigrant, is going to be safe in this country and is not going to die of hunger.
Like your mother wanted that stability for you, and she thought the real estate would provide that stability.
It sounds like
My
your
mother
was
wants
very
that
rational.
stability for every woman in the world. So I used to live in Brooklyn, so I had exposure to Brooklyn.
Okay.
And I said, look, come on, let's go take a look at a few places. And my first purchase was 354 Grand Avenue
Okay.
in Clinton Hill, not in Williamsburg.
Wow.
It was the world's smallest brownstone. It was 12 feet wide. It's still standing. It's 12 feet wide. And it was very, very inexpensive. I guess I bought it from sellers who were trying to flip, which I didn't know. I didn't know anything about any of it. By the time I had finished law school, I had saved up about $40,000. So I had that. So I had that with me because I was always a worker. I was always working. I always had a job from age 14. So even when I was going full time to junior high school, I had a job. I was in high school, I had a job. I was in college, I had a job. So I was always working. That's
You were
also by the
saving at the same time. You were working and saving.
Absolutely right. Saving is important, and it's hard to save. That's not easy to save, because so many times, especially when you're younger, so many temptations come up. Your thoughts are not fully formed. You don't know where you're going to end up and what are the possibilities. A lot of people ask, like, what happened. Other than an incredible work ethic, family work ethic, it's not only mine. It was ingrained in me, thanks to my mom and my older brother. But luck. So what do I mean by luck? After I bought it, my brother, we bought it cash because it was inexpensive.
Okay.
I had my money, he lent me some money, and for 9 months I could not get a mortgage because I didn't know how to get a mortgage. So I kept trying. The appraisal wouldn't come in, and I lost sleep. I had nightmares. I used to think, oh, what have I done? I'm going to go down. I'm going to take my immigrant family down with me. What's a blah, 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 blah. 9 months passed, sweaty nights, and finally my mortgage came through. I bought the building for 500,000. Mortgage came for 1 million. I paid my brother back, and then I was left with 500,000 to do something else with.
Wow.
Wow.
And the world's smallest brownstone, here's the lucky part, was right next to Mr. Russell Simmons' gallery.
Hey, nice.
See, it's all about you see
Which
the
I knew.
opportunity.
I knew Run DMC, but I didn't know Mr. Russell Simmons. I didn't know who he was, what he did. And one July 4th, the whole Grand Avenue was full of these beautiful black human beings. And so I got curious and I was like, "What's going on?" And only to find out that it was Mr. Simmons' gallery. He still has it there.
Oh
So
wow.
my rental became really easy,
Okay.
because that small block was always alive because of Mr. Simmons' gallery.
Well, let's
And
take a step back. So you said luck, right? And I like to tell people luck is the equation of preparation plus opportunity, right?
right,
You prepared yourself by saving and you worked hard for it. And
right,
you saw the opportunity because you said, I know this area. This would be a good place for me to start, for me to buy something to start my life.
Yeah, she was committed
absolutely.
too. You were very committed. Those nervous nights, you have to
Oh
make
my,
it
yeah,
better
that's. I
yourself.
want to make an impression about that, because
Nope.
it's not easy.
Nope.
It's not easy to make such a big move and then not lose sleep.
I
Yeah.
agree.
It's that comes. I don't know if you guys have experienced it. I'm sure some
I've
parts
gone
were.
through
Yeah.
it.
Right,
Anything that's
right,
worth it takes commitment, and it's gonna take a
and
lot of soul searching and a lot of like you got to
right, and
believe.
and that one stage, the first, this hill of fear and unsureness and things are not working out, I made an application for at least 20 different mortgage applications,
Okay.
because that's how desperately I needed a
The
mortgage
mortgage.
on this property.
Hmm.
And it just wasn't happening, and it took so long. I just want to say that fear, everyone experiences it.
Yeah.
You have to be able to get over it, because I promise you there's something other, good, and something on the other side.
Mm.
But if you always stay on this side of your fear, then you will never know good,
Ooh.
bad, or ugly. And so
Everything
then
you
how do you
want,
move on?
everything you
And
want is on the other side of fear.
I agree.
right, precisely.
So,
And once you overcome one fear, then the rest become easier.
hmm question for you:
Because right.
what made you not give up? What made you go to the 20th mortgage company?
This is the work ethic.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, generally young Pakistani boys always ask me, older sister, how did you do it? How did you do it? And now after so many years, I just whisper to them, I will tell you, you guys can refine my mathematics later.
Okay.
But average Americans, we graduate at age 22, 23 from college.
Okay.
We work till age 65, 67.
Okay.
We have a 40-hour a week, which, by the way, is scandalous all over Europe. Everybody thinks we are overworked, right?
Yep.
Yep.
At 40 hours a week. The French people are always like, oh my God. And by the time I turned 37, so this whole calculation, 24 to 67, college to retirement, 40 hours a week gives us an average of 80,000 hours that we have worked.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
You can check my
I
maths
know.
later if you
I
like.
believe you.
Right? By the time I turned 37, I already had 98,000 hours under my belt
Wow.
and another 20 years of work life left.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And that happened because the 20 mortgages that I applied for, I didn't sleep. I worked 20 hours a day. I didn't know if it was a Saturday or a Sunday. And what made me not quit? No option, Nadia.
Okay.
What was I
Well,
supposed to do after I made this move? And now I'm afraid,
yeah.
and now it has to work out for me.
Yeah.
That's all.
You burned
And
the
all I
ships.
needed to do was put in the hours to make it work.
Yes, you burn the ships, and that's what people have to understand. You make a
Ex-
decision, go for it, and you have to break through.
Now that
and that is where all the wise people tell us about dedication and tell us about commitment and tell us about bravery and tell us about courage, and that is exactly all the ingredients you need to go through. Nobody can go through sleepless sweaty nights for 9 months in a row unless you have a commitment, unless you have a dedication. And in my case, I'm telling you the truth, I was really under the so afraid that I not only did I take myself down, because then this building would have become a liability, but because my brother and my mom helped me, I was like, oh my god, my hardworking immigrant family, I'm
It's
going
gonna
to
be
take
taken
everyone
down with
down.
you.
So that wasn't an option, that wasn't on the table.
and
So I
was it
had to
was
get
it
through
was
it.
it worth it? Would you do it again? Was it worth it?
100,000%.
There
Look
you
at
go.
that.
Absolutely. Well, you know why? Because what you're asking me is that, Mariam, you had 9 months of sweating bullets and being under intense fear and always at the edge of survival. How do you feel about it now? Great.
It was worth it.
I these were fruits which are mine to have,
Now, my
and
thing
all I
is,
had to do was sweat some bullets. Go ahead, please.
when we would talk about those characteristics, what are the must-haves that you think a person should have when they're thinking about going to real estate or just becoming an entrepreneur in general? What are the
Belief.
must-have character? Belief, okay?
Belief in yourself, not
Mm.
belief in the system, not belief in XYZ, not belief in sun and moon. Belief in yourself.
Okay.
What does that mean? That means that if you have 20 hours, 21 hours, then you're going to work.
Yep.
You're going to get to the other end, no matter what are the obstacles. And that's belief. That's faith, right? We call that faith.
I book
Like,
you the same thing. My thing is, if it's to be, it's up to me, and I will do everything I need to do to make it happen. And that sounds
uh,
like the same thing you do.
right. My fear of failure was always present, but I didn't fail. Belief means that no matter how many rejections, no matter how many obstacles you have, you will get to the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that's what belief is.
Now,
So
Miriam, exactly what is the other side now? From your first purchase, your brownstone in Clinton Hill, which I don't think people realize.
It's a way, way more than what you took that mortgage out on. Let me tell you.
Where are we now?
How many
well,
doors do you have now, Miriam?
I have. I guess you're asking about the building doors. I have 5 doors,
Well, you have
and I have
five buildings.
40 I have 41 apartments.
41 doors.
41 doors that started off with that one brownstone in Clinton Hill because you believe.
Which only had 2 apartments in
There
it.
you go.
And the renovations were so poor that when they sold me the building, they didn't tell me, but they had misattached the gas piping.
Oh,
1 week after I bought the building was going to catch fire because the gas was going in the wrong
Oh,
way.
man.
welcome to Brooklyn.
Welcome to
Yeah,
Brooklyn.
exactly. And and all those things happen too. We still have shady renovations. We still have, and here I am. I'm still
You're still in the
working my
game.
way through. Um, I got, again, I keep saying lucky or maybe karma at this point. So many devastating things happened with the coronavirus. I'm still so sad and mad at all the losses and what the government has done. But hun, none of my tenants, the government was sending me all these like thick letters to send to my tenants, like these really impersonal, hey, kind of tenant letters. I hand wrote a letter to all my tenants. I said, listen, in this world, I'm a fish above you. I'm also not doing too great right now with the uncertainty. And Hannah, everyone paid me.
Wow.
Everyone paid you because that's part of being a good landlord.
Yep.
I think
A
that's
lot about
karma. I
you.
think because I have always I don't charge late fees for my tenants,
Hmm.
because I have a specialized niche because of the neighborhoods I'm in right now. I'm outside the Navy Yard, I'm in Fort Greene, I'm in Borough Hill. I have all young
Wow.
people.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
young people who are just graduated or they're PhD students, or so I don't charge them late fees. because I know they don't mean to be late. I give my stabilized tenants as good an apartment as my free market, because I want to be proud of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Beyond money, once you get to a certain point where you really don't think your survival is at stake, then you need to work for pride.
I agree.
Then you
I
need to
agree.
work for honor. Then you need to work for, you know, for
Making
the
the world
life
a
that.
better place.
Miriam, say that again. After a certain part, it's not about the money.
Yep.
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
It's
Once
about
you
the
cross the
legacy.
survival hump and the fear of the survival hump, because it's really, really important to come to a spiritual point. Because you're asking me, and honestly, maybe I wouldn't have been this happy if I hadn't had that spiritual transition.
Okay.
And the spiritual transition was that I got out of survival mode in my mind.
That's what
Otherwise,
I'm talking about.
20 years, 20 years, 24 hours of being engaged in the survival, this could have taken over me.
That's true.
And 20 years from today, I would be 65 and still counting a penny and still and it's not worth it. You need to be able to feel good. You need to be able to feel proud. You need to be able to feel honored. I don't like it's not charity. My rent stabilized tenants pay me rent. So then the ball is in my court of what quality apartment I'm going to give them.
I wish more people felt like that.
I hope so too. This came naturally to me. I guess maybe I'm a woman. Maybe because I'm an immigrant, and maybe all of this was already in my plate to contemplate.
That's
So
true.
when I didn't have to worry about my corner bill, and I had some mental space, I started to think about where I want to be personally with all of this.
Well, let
I'm
me.
too young for this.
I agree. Now, let me ask you. I think when I hear that, I feel like when you stop worrying about money, it gives you the time to have compassion for other people. And then that allows you to think from a different place and say, okay, how can I help this person in their life? So greed is not your main objective at this point.
It
Your main
cannot be.
objective is I'm going to be a good person. I have to help other people.
And also, you're not looking at money as money. It's more of a tool. It's more like once you get that tool, it's like, how can I better use this tool?
Right,
Exactly.
for myself and for everyone else that's I'm servicing, because why else are we here?
Exactly.
Exactly.
And but it's really, really hard to get out of the survival mindset. Once I stopped, and my brother's experiencing this now, but the first year that I stopped working 7 days a week, I had no idea what to do with that Sunday off.
Oh, I understand.
I would feel locked up on my sofa worrying about not working. Meanwhile, I was the one who chose to take the
Yep.
Sunday off. But it took me 2 years, close to 2 years, to really start enjoying my Sundays, to really wake up with not that survival jungle around my thoughts and my being, and start enjoying life as I deserve to, as everyone deserves to.
Nice.
So it's a very difficult balance. Um, One of your questions was about the influences, and I am blessed. I've mentioned my mother. I'll mention her again. She comes from Pakistan, from a very big family. I also come from a very big family. I grew up in a joint family system.
Okay.
So I can never say that there was one influence. When you're a child, you take everything. So I had my beautiful grandfather talking, my beautiful grandmother talking. I had a dinner table full of my aunts and uncles. And, I knew more about the Caribbean before coming to the America than most of the Americans I met here.
Mm.
So I grew up in that kind of a environment. But my mother has skills that I have never ever seen, and I don't think anybody has seen. Those skills are of organization.
So when are we gonna meet
She's,
your mother? Gotta meet.
oh, we should plan that trip, because that will blow you away. She's incredibly organized. She's the greatest time manager. She has never ever lost a second of her time looking for a pen, looking for keys, looking for anything, because everything is always in place. And as I said, she came from a big family. So she was a visionary. She knew what she wanted in life, especially with 3 children in tow. She was very sure. And she is incredibly, um, even dedication is not the right word.
Gotcha.
It's been all our life. If there's a sink, if there's a dish in the sink, she cannot go to sleep without making sure that it's clean and in its place, and then she will go to bed.
I'm Nestle
Always the
Wade,
first
Nicole
to.
not so much.
No,
Then
no.
Nicole cannot go meet my mom. Nadia, you and I will.
Okay, I'll wash dishes. Sometimes these kids make me tired. I'm waiting for them to learn. But Marion, question for you. You bring up your immigrant background and you being a woman as a benefit. Has there been a point in time when those things were more of a detriment or a
Worked
hurdle for
against you?
you to overcome?
Every day
Mm.
was an assault on my pride for being an immigrant. It was an
Wow.
assault on my pride for being brown. I'm very proud to be an immigrant. I never thought that, that's the pride you can have, because it wasn't my choice. My mom turned us into an immigrant. But Han, the kind of sexism I have faced, the kind of immigrant bias I have faced, and it would have been debilitating if I wasn't as powerful as I feel because of my mom.
Mm.
Okay. Have you
My
experienced
mom,
anything recently, like in the real estate world, when this has come into play?
all the time it does. People don't take me seriously.
Mm.
I make offers, they don't take me seriously. I make offers with proof of funds, and they think I'm lying.
Mm.
It's all the time. I'm desperately trying to buy a building right now, and I don't know if I can say this to you, but it's the truth. I've hired my non-immigrant professional friends, because they know me now. They've spent so much time with me now,
Got you.
and I ask them to go make my deals,
And this
Yeah.
is a shame. This is like you're
because
talking
I
about the
just
1920s, but this is happening in 2020.
Yep.
That you have
all the
another face
time.
in front of you.
You go to a bank and they look you up and down.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's the first thing that they do. No, then if they look at your bank balance, then they want to figure out how they can take, how they can have it and not you. So then suddenly you're in such a good mood, and now you're battle ready,
Mm. That's
only
I
because
understand
you were
that.
just trying to
I
run a
think a
business,
lot
and
of
you're trying.
women in general would understand that same feeling that you're battle ready because you have to prove yourself on so many levels.
Every day. And it's
Exactly, and
tiring.
and it and it takes a toll.
Yeah.
Thank God my heart is still in good condition. But like I said, I've been working since I was 14 years old, and I cannot tell you one time where I did not experience sexism.
Mm.
I cannot tell you one time where I did not experience oppression based on the skin color of mine. Not even once.
Hmm.
But here's where it comes again. If you are a racist to my mom, she thinks you're stupid, and she'll let you know too.
I agree with your
Exactly.
mother.
And before you can judge her, she has lost respect for you already.
Mm.
And
That's
she
a
has
good
moved
point.
on her own merry way.
That is a good point.
But you also bring up the fact that we also have allies that are able to help us and see the content of our character, to see the quality of our being, and help us get past these hurdles that shouldn't be there in the first place.
Exactly.
You know?
And the professional allies, honey, they just need to see results to become ally.
True.
They because this is not a personal relationship.
Yep.
So when you are dealing with someone professionally, it's not only your character but your achievements.
It's your results. Yep.
It's the results. Yeah, exactly. And so therefore I was quite alone, but not alone because the family was together. But I was quite alone. It took me 20 years to build this professional community of allies.
Gotcha.
And I have no bitterness about it. Like I said, I get
It's
this
part of the
attitude
game.
from my mom. I'm like, if you are not a nice person, then that's on you.
Yep.
And I'm going to find some other way to do my work.
Yeah, they
That,
haven't stopped you yet.
Thank God. Yes.
Now, would you suggest people getting into real estate now, especially women, or just in general? Do you think it's a good time to get in real estate, which is just starting now?
Absolutely. Oh, please, all the women of the world, please buy a house now.
There you
Exactly.
Especially
go.
in this, definitely, because the mortgage rates are going to be, it's as a rule of thumb, when they give you money less than 4%, you're at the rate of inflation.
Yeah,
So take
that's
it.
that's free money.
That's free money, exactly, exactly. So then why not? And because of what is going on, these rates have been historically low for 10 years.
True.
So 10 years ago, when the whole meltdown happened, of course I came out of it. But then everyone was like, oh, refinance your loans, interest rates are going to go up. I have a degree in political science, and I was like, they're not going up anywhere.
Yep.
Because we're not gonna get better, and they didn't.
Mm.
And now we're gonna have them down for about another 5, 6, 7 years.
I agree.
So, So this is a good opportunity. People are giving us, not people, institutions are giving us free money because that's the way our economic setup is right now. Take advantage of it, 100%. Especially, honey, because both of you know that if you buy a multi-family, then you're not even paying mortgage.
There you go.
Exactly. That's what we
It's
tell
coming
people.
from rent.
House.
You're so that those 9 months of like sweating bullets for me is not going to happen to a woman who buys
The
a
two family.
multi-family right now.
Exactly.
Because there's gonna be there's mortgage is not gonna be bearing down on her. All her expenses are going to be paid off, and if she does refinance, she can buy another. So this is the best time. Absolutely,
So
any time is the best time, but
now, do you
especially now.
suggest that people save up money? Like, how should it go about? Should it go out for the
Let me
mortgage straight away?
let me answer that question a little cryptically. Because saving money is a very personal thing, and it has to do a lot with your early training of
Right.
were you ever taught to save money or not. I give this example to everyone. My friends are, younger friends, much younger friends. They're always like, "Ooh, if I had $1 million, I would do XYZ with it." And I always say, "No, if you had $1 million, it's gonna go right through your
True.
hands because what you learn in earning and saving the 10,000, the 5,000 is something you pass you don't have the opportunity to if somebody gives you the money.
It's invaluable. It's
So,
the yep.
so the lessons you learn in making money, in saving that money, in not spending that money, in having a vision of what you're going to do with it, those lessons are the ones that carry you forward.
That's
I,
right.
I love that. That's true. I think Nicole and I
If
that's exactly what we
Right.
we
If
feel the
somebody gives
same
you
way.
$10,000 today and you have never earned it, never saved it, never thought about it, boom, it's
It's
gonna
gonna blow
go.
it.
I don't
Yep.
know.
And if they don't believe you, just look up any history of people that have won the lottery. They did
Right.
not keep it.
Exactly. Good point. That's always. That's what I say always.
Mhm.
And that's the reason. That's why my friends are really disappointed. I'm like, no, if you have $1 million, it's gonna go right through your
That's true.
Hey, never lie.
yeah. You need lessons. You need lessons. You need the struggle. You need that experience of fear and overcoming it. You need to go through obstacles so your mind opens. You grow. You have more thoughts. And if you are not struggling, then none of that growth happens.
Now, let me ask you a question. One of the things Nicole and I have talked to people about is house hacking. So, house hacking is when you buy a multifamily or you buy something that has more bedrooms than you need, and then you have other people help you pay for that so that you can save up money to buy another property. Is that something that you would recommend to someone who's just starting out that's trying to get a leg into real estate, or that's one method?
There's no one method.
I agree.
Definitely no one method. I have not heard of house hacking. I guess because I became one of those people that I have
You were
found a
Well,
actually
you
successful
using
know,
it without
formula.
the term.
technically, your first property was a house hack because you had
Okay,
two apartments. Somebody was helping you pay the mortgage.
right. Oh, definitely. Well, I wasn't living in the buildings.
Oh,
I
you
was still
didn't.
renting half a block over on Gates Avenue
Okay.
with my lovely five roommates. We were six girls in a duplex. I wasn't. I was
Oh, so
getting
you
rent.
just fully rented it out, and you were like, "I'm gonna live over here while this building pays for itself."
That's a real house
That
hack.
that's really house hack.
And
So
yeah,
you were renting
no.
out a whole building and you were having roommates somewhere else. So you weren't even paying that much.
Of course, no, because I rented each of the duplexes back then, and it was a lot of money. Got rented for 2,400 each.
Wow.
So I wasn't gonna pay 2,400 in rent. I couldn't afford. I was paying 600 in rent with my roommates for my
Look at that.
for
Exactly.
my duplex.
And then that
And there
helped
was
you live like just pay for your general expenses, pay for the building, and give you some pocket money at the same time.
exactly,
That's
precisely. For me, even the pocket money wasn't essential. What was essential, because the pocket money I got from the mortgage, because I had this
You
whole
had extra
big
oh
money.
large
yeah,
chunk of
true.
money to invest, and I bought 5 Franklin with it
Wow.
next.
That's nice.
It was a semi-attached three-family home. Um, so it wasn't even the pocket money. In fact, a lot of times I have lost money on on
The
um,
rent.
on a on a monthly basis.
Okay.
You know why, how, and this is all part related. When you start this work and you don't have experience, suddenly Con Edison bill was $1,000. It
Mm.
was 100 last month. I don't know what happened, but now it's gonna take 7 months out of my life
Mm.
I got
calling
you.
Con Edison, figuring out. But those 7 months I'm in negative now
Mm.
because I have to pay them. I cannot afford to have my. So that's the struggle and that's the fear, you know. And if you keep working through it, you keep moving forward. Good things happen.
I got
Only good things happen.
So you're telling me that you didn't take the money and decide to live the high life? You didn't go buy.
you didn't buy your Benzes and your everything else.
I finally I have a Benz, and let me tell you, I miss my Honda Civic so bad because this is a moody car and its colors are always on and lights are always like
Oh,
do this,
boy.
do that. And my Honda Civic, I could do whatever I wanted. It would take me wherever. So no, and that's a big temptation, especially for young people. And that ties back into the conversation we were having about saving money and how difficult it is
Yep.
to save money. But sure, you can blow it up, but then what?
Yep.
You can
And
lose
I
all
knew
those
that.
properties, all those nights sleep
Right.
that you lost are worth nothing. Yep.
Not exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, it's so easy to blow it up. So easy. Give me $1 million and give me 1 week. I can spend it.
I agree.
You know, anybody can. But what's the point? Like I said, I was raised by a woman who had a vision. So I always knew that there's a future. And I always knew that we have to take steps somewhere. We were not going to be always here. You know, my mom was born in a village. Then she moved to a city. Then she did all the paperwork and came to New York. How did she do all of that? So you know,
Have
I
You
have
have to have,
I have a
you have to
I
have a
have
vision for
believed.
your life.
So you're saying
I,
the first thing you have to do is understand what you need, right? You need a plan. You need a plan, and then from there, how you're going to execute that plan.
so yeah, and you know, I'll tell you. Ideally, you should have a plan, but you should be ready to wing it too.
Uh,
Yep. Don't stick to your plan if it's not working. Be able to be flexible enough.
Right, exactly. And if something gets dropped in your lap and you have no plan for it, then make a plan.
there you go.
Don't give up.
Don't give up.
Yep.
Precisely. Don't give up. Belief, courage, facing fear. These are the important things to be able to become a successful entrepreneur, especially in real estate, especially around eastern part of or in the United States anywhere.
It's
It's
a
a
doggy dog
it's a
world.
lot of money. The money is large. You know, it's not like if you start a deli, you need an investment of like $10,000,
Yeah.
and you can start a deli or start a bodega. So the real estate is a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's not small money, and the bigger the money, the less experience that you have, the greater fear you will have. So plan for these things.
Mm-hmm.
Plan for your meditation time. Plan for your exercise time, because accept it and know that there are going to be obstacles.
Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people, when they buy a house or a building or anything, they forget about the maintenance. They think the big part is buying. But what
Right.
will trip
Right.
you up and what will get that taken away from you real quick is the maintenance. You
Yep.
know?
You said maintenance, and I'm going to mention my mom again. I promise I won't mention her after this. But she's incredibly clean, I mentioned. So, you know, a lot of like incredibly clean. You haven't seen anything like that. So, a lot of people ask her also. They're like, Auntie, what's your secret? Now, she cannot give you a secret because this is a whole lifetime of effort.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, she always smiles coyly and she says, maintenance is the key.
Hey.
And you're right. Yeah, many people now. I'm also I was crunching numbers because I wanted to buy something in Fire Island, and part of the
Fire
number
Island,
that
so
I
you're talking about the
crunched.
beach town in Long Island.
Yeah.
You're talking about
It's
buying
not cheap.
something.
Yes.
It's not cheap.
Yes. Yes. Actually, you'd be surprised. I was surprised. It's not
Really?
that bad.
Okay.
Let's go. We can all
Oh,
go to
Let's
Fire
do
hey,
it.
Island.
I'm down.
Yes. It's off the coast of Long Island. Thank you, Nicole. You keep giving references to all
Because
these
I want people to know that
neighborhoods
this is
I'm
something that
showing.
you're doing in one of the hardest cities in the world, and you're doing it successfully. And you've been doing it successfully for decades, and you're still saying, "I'm gonna buy in nicer parts," you know. And it's just like you just keep going, and I don't think people understand. We're talking about big business right now with you. Those 41 doors are worth more than 1,000 doors in some other places.
Exactly.
Yes, it's true. I'm a very humble person, so it's
I
a
would
little
say
difficult
Miriam
for
is
me,
very humble,
because
guys, but
yeah,
understand.
humility is required. But so I went to see a place, it was, again with my designated
Your designated
talker
face.
on my part, and the seller was really nice. So I introduced myself. And quite shyly I said, I'm a local landlord in Brooklyn and I have 41 apartments. I'm a small fish. And the broker who was with me, he elbowed me so hard. And he said, Mariam, at this point, at least say medium fish, half a shark. Stop saying
Half a
small
shark.
fish.
Exactly. So, guys, we do not interview anyone that's ordinary. We put the extra on the ordinary. And Miriam
Yeah.
is the extra on the ordinary, but she's true and she's genuine and she's just a humble person, like she says, and she's a wonderful person. And we want to show you these people that are really doing it behind the scenes, that you don't have to be flashy and arrogant, but you can still make it happen. These are the examples we want to tell you about.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
she's telling you the
No.
difficulties. Don't fall for anyone who's telling you it's easy. It's not easy. There's a lot that goes
No.
into it.
No, there's an obstacle every day. And now I miss my grandfather because when is it easy?
Yeah. If it's easy, you gotta
I
worry.
was
But
cooking chicken the other day and I was like, oh my God, what is in this recipe? I forgot. That was hard. you know. So nothing really is easy, but one has to be able to accept, like I said, accept that there are going to be obstacles, accept that it's going to be hard, accept that you're going to need to give your self care because you're doing hard things. All of that has to become part of your life as well.
mm,
Otherwise, it's a dog eat dog world, and you can easily lose center and lose touch with yourself and what's important, really. So those things now in retrospective, you haven't asked me, but if you do ask me what is one thing that I would like to do differently, or definitely would be including more self care and
Mm,
awareness
yeah,
from early on.
I think
I
that's
did not
the
know
yeah.
a lot of push and pull was because I didn't know how to take care of myself, and also because of all the sexism, because of all the racism, because of all of that crap, you're tired, you're
It
yep.
wears you down
exhausted.
mentally.
you
I
know if
agree.
you can uh, work itself is hard, but then all these things make it spiritually harder, so you have to be ready for all of that. I wasn't ready for all of that. I just had my mom's cavalier attitude that screw you if you think that something's wrong with me because I'm a woman. I don't, something's wrong with you, and I would move on.
Yeah.
you know
But it does
but
take a
but
toll.
it takes a toll. It takes a spiritual toll, and 20 years pass by so quickly, and you're like, oh my God, I need to breathe. I need to take a few steps back. I need to appreciate myself and enjoy my accomplishments and think about how I got here. And so thankfully I've been doing that for the past 5 years now.
That's
That's
great.
uh,
fantastic.
That's great. So you
but that's
say
important.
work, make sure you take care of yourself throughout this
Yes,
whole process.
absolutely. And if you're going to believe in yourself, and whatever you believe in, you take care of, right?
That
Mm.
is true.
So
You're
this
dropping
this this
gems, Miriam. Dropping
Dropping
gems.
sorry.
gems. We say you're dropping gems. I mean you're dropping
So
treasures
much knowledge,
that people need to understand what they're listening to because this is coming from a real perspective.
No, it did. I'm a real person, believe me, please.
Right? We got a mentor on the line,
Absolutely.
guys. We got a mentor on the line.
So
Mentors are extremely important.
Mm.
The part of some of your questions were like, mentors are extremely important. Mentors are important, especially for women, especially for women of color, especially for the rest, the ones who are not by default privileged in
mhm.
this messed up world. Mentors are very, very important. You cannot succeed without a mentor. If that's one thing I can leave you with, nobody can
You
succeed
can't,
without a mentor.
you,
My
you, you
my
gotta
mother
ask for
was a
help.
mentor. Sorry?
You
It's
say you gotta ask for help. You gotta get the help.
That is a ego you cannot have if you're trying to grow. Oh my God, that's like you have to put that, quash it,
yeah.
stomp it, kick it out of your life
Mm.
I
far,
agree.
far away, because there is no way. There is no way if you have your ego is so big that you're nervous or scared or don't want to ask somebody a question, you're never going to grow.
Mm.
Never. You're never going to grow in life. You're never going to grow in business. You have to be able to bring yourself to earth enough to ask for help.
Yep.
Say, I don't know this.
And do
People are
you?
so embarrassed to say, I don't know.
Yep.
I
True. Do
agree.
you now? When it comes to getting help, do you put a picture on that person? Do you put a face of what that person might look like, or do you say, "I need to get the answer to this question," and it might come from an unlikely source? You know.
Well, for this also, like I said, I'm blessed. I grew up in a big family. You asked me this, and I have a Urdu sentence in my head. Banda dekh ke sawal karna chahiye means look at the person before you ask your question.
Oh,
See the person. So if my question is, how can I be more honest, and I'm looking at a thief, I better not ask
Don't
him
make sure
my
you're asking the
question.
right person the
This
right
is true.
question.
This is
Right.
true.
So if I wanna go into real estate and I wanna buy a house, then I should not be asking a homeless person.
Tell it. Yep.
If you want to have money and make money, don't ask the person who's over here borrowing money.
Right,
That's what
right.
people
Because
need to understand.
like I said before, it's easy to fantasize. It's really hard to work.
Ooh.
It's not impossible.
I,
The fruits are not far,
I like
but
that. Easy to fantasize. It's hard to work.
it's true.
It's true.
And if you look at the three of us, you can tell we don't care more about the material things. We let our money work for us and do things in the world. And I think a lot of people mistake that and show, here's what we're showing materially, and they mistake that for success. And I think
I'm
people need to
embarrassed with
change
my Benz nowadays. You have no idea because I get so many compliments on it. It's a pretty green color. It's convertible.
Is it money green?
And mostly I'm embarrassed if I say thank yous.
You can give it over to me.
It's
I'll
not
take
about.
that embarrassment from you.
We should go for a drive.
Exactly.
Totally
Um,
great.
it's not about what you have. You can be the richest person and still be the poorest person on the planet, depending on how you're feeling inside. Inner suffering it cannot be lessened with money. That's something you have to take care of by your deeds and by your actions and by your daily life, and that's important. Which is why, like, really, I've stopped a bit. When we were younger, it was important to save $20. It was important for me to make those collections on that $5 late fee. It's not anymore. I want my tenants to be happy. I want them to be comfortable. I'm grateful to them for giving me this life. And honestly, they are all thankful. And everyone who leaves me, my apartment, leaves happy. I've had problems also, but only one. And that's, I don't know, once again, I've only had one tenant in 27 years that I've had a problem with, who's made me made me made me want to exit. But then, of course, I have 25 years of face your fear, face your fear, face your fear belief. So I'm still here. I didn't sell the building, and
That's fantastic. Now, Mary, I know you're busy, so we won't keep up too much of your time, but is there anything you want to, any parting words you want to leave our viewers with?
All I want to say is, please believe in yourself. If you're a woman and you have access and you have information and you can buy a building, buy it. And then 2 years later, buy your second one too. Don't let anyone stop you.
Nice.
That's what I'm talking
about. And if you work hard and if you believe in yourself, good things will happen.
Well, thank you so much, Miriam. When are we going to have you back on? Because I know people are going to want to know.
A lot of questions.
I already got questions for the next time, so we definitely appreciate you being here. Can't wait to,
You can do this in person.
Yeah.
One day. Hopefully
one day soon. Let's see.
And we definitely want to update on that Fire Island place, okay?
Oh, okay, you guys. All right. I just started looking into it. Thank you so much for having me. I feel very, very honored to be on your show today, talking to you. And you guys are amazing yourself. Best of luck. I'm here. I'm close. We're in Brooklyn. And you guys have my cell number. You guys can text me, call me anytime.
Thank you so much. And you're the one that honored us today. So thank you again.
We really appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you so much. Take care.